let's open up the chat here. Let's do some Q&A now. So, ask your questions and we will get into this. All I see is people talking about I need a salary cap and Tucker signing is proof, but just a fix for a symptom, not the actual cause. It's a Band-Aid. It's a Band-Aid. And yeah, technically it would prevent huge year to year. And by the way, the cap would be year to year. So there's still creative accounting, right? They can be like, hey, we'll pay you 4 years, $240, but the first year needs to be $20 million, but then the next year will be 80, right? Like that can still happen. So it doesn't necessarily just stop it. And it depends on where the floor is, which the floor will also be creatively done where they defer money or they front load money or to get over the threshold and then they pay them nothing. Like there's a lot to be done. That will happen. That's always happening. So it depends on what the numbers are and control. We have to talk about the control. So the control is the biggest thing. The players need to be like, okay, we have more control from younger. We can sign a lot more times for more money then. If that's what we're going to do, this is what we're going to do. And to be honest, there is a level of that working in the NBA. For the players, there is a benefit to that for the players, but it turns out what the terms are, if there is a max contract, if that's a mechanic that comes up, it's going to be dicey. It's going to be dicey quickly. But we'll have to wait and see on that stuff. Does this guarantee a 2027 lockout? If the fans decided, yes. So if you really think about it, the teams would be locking out the players. So the teams offer this big deal and then they say, because we decided to make this big deal, now there's a lockout. Does that make sense? They're either gonna do it or not, depending on whether or not they think they can get what they want. And I don't think these deals matter. I just think that only thing that matters is their ability to sell it to the fans. That's it. The only thing that changes is public sentiment, and that only has so much pull. Like they if it's going to be wildly unpopular and that's going to hurt their bottom line, then they might not do it. But if they feel like the fans are all behind them for like solving this problem, even though salary cap won't solve the problem, like it's a little bit competitive balance, a little bit parity. It's mostly franchise valuation. So this doesn't change that at all. Actually, nothing changes whether or not they can value teams better. They need certainty in their costs and their revenue. They need certainty. They need the less uncertainty. That's it. So like them signing Tucker doesn't lessen or increase certainty. It's the exact same. It's all the other forces are exactly the same. The only thing that changes is public sentiment. But does this mean that the fans will get more behind a lockout? Yes, it does. At least for now. And players are going to constantly push back against it, which sucks because you're like, hey guys, but no. Like I sit here and go, but guys, we can't do it. And as Kyle Tucker's rocking around with $60 million a year, like it's a really hard pill to swallow to miss baseball. But remember, lockouts are initiated by the commissioner, not the players. It's not the players walking off the field because they feel like they're not getting enough money. The players are pretty happy with how much money they're getting. The owners aren't. Why is that? Why is that? So just like, doesn't change anything. And sentiment also shouldn't change, but again, it does constantly. We all react to everything all the time. That's what they're hoping happens. So if they're behind closed doors and like, hey, they're encouraging them to make these deals because it makes their case better publicly, called killing two birds right there, boys and girls. So do I think it makes it more likely? Not technically, because the people who make that decision, nothing's changed for them. But does it make it more palatable for the fans? Yes, it does. At this point in time, Bellinger may be better fit in the Jays lineup if they can get him. I agree. I think Bellinger fits really well in the Jays. But dude, their payroll is going to go to the moon if that happens. And I don't know if you noticed, the Yankees really want him. But Bellinger, I mean, he was really good last year. It's funny, he didn't have his best year he's ever had either. Like there's a little bit of this like, is he like that good? He's really good, but is he like that good? Is he like a stud? I think he's a star. I think he's a star caliber, like all-star level, tier 2 star type of guy. So, for example, 5-year 150, the Pete Alonso, Kyle Schwarber level, I think that makes a lot of sense to me. The 7 for 210 he wants seems like too much. We'll see what happens, but I think it's between the Blue Jays and the Yankees. It is interesting, though. He just doesn't seem like he's playing ball with the Yankees much, which is interesting to me because I thought it was great to be there. I don't know. But I would say, yeah, they're a great fit. How would you bat the Dodgers 1 through 4? Ooh. Or does the order even matter? Oh, the order definitely matters. God, they have so much flexibility. I think they should go They can just go left, right, left, right, left, right. So you can neutralize the bullpen's ability to neutralize them. And they just added another left-handed bat that is thump. I think it's going to go Shohei, Mookie, Freddie, Will, Tucker, then maybe Teoscar. So then you go Teoscar, you go Muncy, then you go Edmund Pages, dude. That's right, left, right, left, right, left, right. That's terrible, man. Oh my God. I mean, that's terrible in the best way possible for the Dodgers. That's terrible for everybody else. Oh my God. Now adding him, and the fact that he get in the middle order, dude, that's crazy. Honestly, you could flip, and depending on how Freddie hits, like maybe Tucker's going off, and Mookie needs or whatever, or Will's hitting better than Mookie. You can move Will to second, and then move Mookie to 4, right? Or you can go Freddie and Tucker and swap them, because Freddie's getting older, like they're in their mid-30s, getting in the late 30s. Like there's going to be at some point with a couple of these guys. Like they're just going to and have to hit later in the game. But we're not there yet. And I have also only got three-month off season 2 years in a row. You start to slow down a little bit. That's the big thing. I think that World Series fatigue is going to catch up with them sooner rather than later. And that's why they operate during the regular season like they do, because the off season is just not long enough as is. So, Hugh, Suarez, where? Interesting question. Depends on what he's asking for. I'm sure he's going to get a smaller deal. Maybe he might have to end up signing a 1 year. He could go back to the Mariners. That's possible. I mean, I know he loves it there, but it would have to go way, way down. I'm trying to think of other teams that really need corner pop at the moment. Like right now, maybe the Red Sox. Yeah, Red Sox could be one. They could get away with the swing and miss there for that wall. Dude, he'll just flip stuff over that wall all day. It'd be really interesting. Do you think the D-backs acquire a third baseman via trade, free agency or trade? They already did. Nolan Arenado. Nolan Arenado's already going there, so you're good. You're covered. You got your Evan Longoria. Suarez maybe to the Pirates. That's another good. I mean, the Pirates are doing some stuff, but again, I think he's gonna sign a 1 or 2 year deal with an opt out in the middle, like 1 for 20, 2 for 40 type of situation. Reds is another good one. Yeah, I think these are all like, and I think he's either going to go be like a depth piece, like an addition, a power piece to a team that is competitor, or a team that's on the cusp that could get something out of him at third base. Because defensively he's just so or below average. So that's interesting. That is interesting. I like Pirates. I think Mariners are an option. A big one would be the Red Sox. I could see the Red Sox pulling that off because it's not huge. Or maybe they trade for a Beatty situation. You know, that could be it. Beatty could go somewhere for a starting pitcher. There's a lot of options, but we'll see. Did you see the Red Sox and Mets making a trade at some point? Durant, yeah, possibly. You know, I know Duran is on the market. They have a glut of outfielders. Jarren Duran, it would be a great Met addition to the Mets, I think. But I don't know if it would have to be like Beatty and like probably one of the big pitching prospects. Yeah, they're gonna need a high ceiling arm for that. And I'll be honest, the reason it hasn't probably happened is the Mets should be very hesitant in trading arms because that was black hole last year. And they can't afford that to happen again. That's their big problem now, and they haven't addressed it yet. So, one M's fan to another. What do we do from here? We all go on hoping we get Donovan. Our infield feels so weak right now. I mean, it's not the weakest ever, but yeah, like in terms of bat, Cole Young and Ben Williamson is just nothing. Like no pop at all. There's no pop there at all. Donovan would be massive. Would be a huge pickup. It'll be interesting to see what Kyle Bloom from the San Diego or St. Louis Cardinals want from the Mariners. Probably pitching. But if you can go get Brendan Donovan is one of the most rock-solid players. He has been good every year. He's always one of their best hitters. Like he's a quality player. And I think he would fit in so nicely with the Mariners. Lefty, he's not going to get the weird the swing and miss escalation because he's right-handed in T-Mobile. Like, dude, I think that would be huge. A huge pickup. I was hoping they would get Ketel Marte, but obviously that's off the table now. So Donovan, if they could pick him up, they could pull it off. Let's just see if DePoto has a stomach to give some pitching depth somewhere. I don't know. Maybe Emerson Hancock could be thrown in there, but it'd be interesting. Donovan would be a great fit. Hopefully they figure out a way to move forward with it though. Who would you want to go to the Dodgers? They currently stand, or would you feel more comfortable playing a bigger role on a lesser team? I think that depends on where I'm at in my career. Like if I were signed after 2020, like I was, like that's my peak or whatever, my max value, a 2-year deal, they probably would have offered the most money. So I would say if the Dodgers are far and away above everyone in the offer, like just the location, their quality, the quality of the team, even if I was brought in as a guy to get to have a little bit more pressure, there's still like the way they operate in the bullpen, I would feel comfortable in operating that. I think I would have confidence in myself to do it. That said, if there were another cusp team that had a really good, I would have been like, especially towards the end of my career, I would have valued being closer to home. Like if it were like the Mariners came and offered me the same thing, there's no way I go to the Dodgers. I'm going to the Mariners 100%. Like not even close. Like not even a split second hesitation, I would have taken that. But like if it's a, fringe team, cusp team, and the numbers are pretty close, but one's a little bit higher than the other, I would have to really, really think about it. And to be honest, at the end of the day, I'd look over at my wife and be like, what do we do? So like, I'm not going to act like I'm like, oh no, I don't need to play for the best team in the world. It would be nice. It would be nice to feel good about winning a lot and then not worrying about it as much. How do you feel about the A's not getting a trademark Las Vegas? Let me think about that. John, what an idiot. Did I answer your question? No, I love the A's organization and everyone that works in it below the owner. But to him, I hope every day contains one stepping on a Lego, and that's what we got. So he deserves a few more headaches, you know what I mean? And that's the way it is. No harm, no like pox, nothing like that, nothing terrible, just tiny little inconvenience. How frustrated do you think the MLB fans would be if the Dodgers traded for Tarek Skubal? Oh my God. Buying everyone in free agency is one thing, right? Like having the most money, being savvy about it, being able to defer money, like being like, hey, we'll offset these taxes, and just being good at that is one thing. That's one move, playing one card over and over again, and it just so happens to work. But if you also get like the benefit of the doubt in the trades, like if you do it in trades too, where like a team's like, yeah, Dodgers, here you go, then it feels like it's on purpose. Like I think the teams are like, hey man, we like your prospects and stuff, but like we just can't give you Tarek Skubal. And I hope that happened. I hope Mr. Little Caesars was like, hey, we just can't do this. And I agree. Now, one thing that's interesting that I actually don't know the answer to, and I want to look up after the show, what if he was traded now in the middle of this ARB thing? What happens? Do they get to renegotiate with a new team? Like what? Can you trade? I don't even know. I genuinely don't. So I was going to do research. Everyone knows. Let me know. Chat. The 90s Yankees were the evil empire. Stop calling every other team that spends that name. Okay, Yankees fan. What? Okay, give me a different one then. Give me a different one. I'm not very creative. My brain hurts. I've been on the TV for 3 hours. Let's think of another name then, okay? Let's do it right now as a family. Chat, start saying it, both chats. I can see both of you. What do we call them instead of the evil empire? Actually, I agree with you. But I am going to give you one of these. Okay. What do we call the Dodgers? They're not the evil empire. The dark Yankees. We can't call them anything to do with the Yankees. Didn't you hear? The dangerous dynasty? Ooh, I like, but that's got a ring. There's some alliteration. Evil empire also has alliteration. We're thinking alliteration. The dangerous dynasty, the corporate overlord, the deferred Dodgers. Now that's just an insult. Something that seems scary. What's another thing in pop culture? Because evil empire is very clearly from Star Wars. Dastardly. I like that word. Maybe a little bit too many dastard. Three syllables seems too long. The Western Reaches. Something with the West. The West Coast Warriors. Yeah, am I going Super Mario Brothers with this? Damn Dodgers. Well, Ben, what you need to know, Ben Schroeder, is everything's a Yankees exclusive. Anything they've ever used, we can't use it. The Showtime Dodgers. Baseball BlackRock. Dude, I like that. It's kind of a deep cut, Roddy, but I like it. Baseball's BlackRock. Dude, that's funny. Okay, that's one. We're going with that. We're going to go with Baseball's BlackRock. If anyone that doesn't know who BlackRock is, they are a private equity company or a hedge fund that owns literally everything on the planet. The Dodgers. I'm going to keep thinking about this. All right, keep questions coming. We don't have to do this all day. The West Coast wackos. Now it sounds like we're just making up freaking backyard baseball teams. Do you think we're getting a Joe Ryan or Peralta trade this offseason? If so, what's the haul they get in return? Oof. Depends on where they go. Dude, that's a lot. There's a lot of moving pieces there. I don't think Joe Ryan goes. I don't think the Twins trade those guys yet. I think that's a trade deadline thing. Let's just be clear here. Minnesota's gotta just top to bottom. Minnesota's in a perpetual earthquake right now. So like, not saying that the stuff happening right now is gonna affect but like, there's uncertainty top, left, right, up, and down. So I think they're gonna ride it a little bit here. I don't think it's gonna be an off-season trade situation unless some crazy deal comes through for like Pablo or him. Because teams need to start pitching. Like Mets could come in out of nowhere and just be like, hey, we'll give you $100 million on top of whatever. We'll see. But like, I don't think either one of those guys goes. I think Peralta does. Because this is the Brewers' MO. Sell high, trade high, especially when they have a year left on their before free agency. They did it with Hader. They traded Williams. Like they keep doing this. So it's probably gonna happen if it lines up, and they're just waiting for the desperation to go. Don't expect Peralta to move, I think, until the end of February, beginning of March. Or about when report day is. That's usually when that happens. Where do you think Zach Gallen ends up? That's interesting. He might go back to Arizona, guys. The Mets are a good option. The Orioles are a good option. We forgot about them. They need starting pitching. We'll see. Is there a sentiment that MLB players don't want to play in Toronto? Jays always seem to miss the sexy names in free agency. No, I don't think so. It's just got its own set of challenges with like citizenship stuff and customs and families. And sometimes if they're not blown away by the deal, they just have to do more, kind of like how Colorado has to do more, kind of like how the Mets kind of have to do a little bit more. The Dodgers don't have to do more now. Like that's kind of why they're winning. It's just, all things considered, it's a solid clubhouse. It's a great developmental place. The weather is wonderful. You're in LA, you're around stars. Like it's just it's like that's cool. Like they don't have to sell you on that stuff. Everyone else seems like you have to sell you. So I think that the reason Toronto's struggling like last 5 years to go like just throw torrents of money at people and have that work is because the Mets do it too. And I think that's what's happening. Like the Mets are there now. And then the Yankees are in their division. So it's like, it was already kind of hard to do. But yeah, there's certain things like customs and how tax works and where you're gonna live and like how that all, and then like it's just some people are like, dude, how's the healthcare system? How does this work? How's that? And it's just a little scary. And sometimes that's just enough. I think so, but I will say in clubhouses, guys like, I don't want to go to the Toronto. Like I've never heard that because we all love going to play there. Toronto's an awesome city. Toronto's one of the most fun cities to go as an away side. But it's also like playing in New York. It's a huge city. So like, just imagine that. If you can imagine, it's hard to sometimes get guys to go to the Yankees and to the Mets. Like not everyone wants to do that. Apply that also, some level of that to, they're probably in pair with like Philly and Toronto too. Sometimes guys are like, I don't want to deal with the whole thing because there is a little bit of that. Though it is Canadian nice and people aren't as mean to you, there is a lot of scrutiny there and not everyone wants that. Toronto's looking to spend on Tucker. Why do you think they weren't interested in bringing back Bo? They might have got tunnel vision. Also, there's a chance that at the beginning of the offseason when it was clear that like that wasn't a huge priority for them, he could have just been like, And then it could have just kind of been like, hey, you know what? We're good. And that's mostly how it happens. They're not saying he's a bad player or whatever, just like maybe like, hey man, we feel comfortable with like Ernie Clement at second and Okamoto at third, sorry. Like we have it covered, like, so then the dollar amount doesn't really make sense. And if they come in kind of lukewarm on you, a team you've been with for 6 years, sometimes you just gotta move on, man. It's like you break up. It's like a mutual breakup a little bit. And it doesn't always have to be so dramatic, but I just think that maybe happened and it just never really heated up that much. And that happens. No matter how obvious it is to the fan base, that happens sometimes. I know this is not the same thing, but like when I was done with the Twins, I threw really well for 2 years in a row. They could have, I think they would have been a better team with me on it, in my opinion. But they were just like, you're now more expensive, man. Like, thank you for your service. It would be great to have you back. We like you as a guy. We're just not going to pay you your max value. I kind of said, that makes sense. I think so. Like, I'll just tell you, we were like, hey, we're looking for two we're looking for 2 for 16. That's what I was looking for after COVID. Like we're looking at 2 for 16, and obviously like we know that's gonna fluctuate, but like 2 for 16. And the Twins were like, we were thinking like 2 for 11, and that's a big difference. And they were like, we're not gonna go over 2 for 11. I'm like, well, I'm not gonna go down 2 for 11, and it was just like, okay, love you guys, you're great. And I'm always gonna be a Twins fan. I'm always gonna wanna come back, and I'm always gonna wanna come hang out and see the fans and do all kind of stuff. I love you guys. And that's it. That's all it was. But there was really nothing happened. Nothing happened there. But if had my market fallen, I would have been, had I looked around and everyone's like, no one's gonna give me more than 2 for 11, I would have went back easily. I would have went back in a moment. If that's the only thing was on the table, but there was other things on the table, so I took it. Luis Arraez gonna have to sign a minor league deal, or where will he end up? He will not sign a minor league deal. He will get picked up somewhere, but it will be in like a flexible spot, depth spot, like someone's first baseman gets hurt, someone's DH gets hurt. He's just too good back-to-ball skills. But the problem is he has very little defensive value and he can't run. So like going and putting him on first base and then having a slow, no-pop guy standing on first just doesn't fit many lineups right now. Yeah, and also I saw him like using a weight to hit a ball the other day, and Twitter's told me that that's stupid, and so he's bad now. That's the only thing he could do. Luis Arraez on the Rockies, though, dude. Oh my God, that would suck so much. for pitchers, that would suck so much, dude. Like having to go up and like throw 80 pitches in would suck. The way too early WBC predictions. Oh my God, like who's gonna win the whole thing? I got USA. I'm not gonna chant it though. I'm not at that level. But like we have the best player in every position on our team. I'm really happy about that. I think we're very good. And we have both Cy Young winners, though they're gonna be on pitch counts, and that sucks. The bullpen's pretty good too. Everyone's kind of limited though. But USA's putting out the best team they could put out. I don't know how it could get much better. There's a lot of very good players on it. Japan's gonna be really good again. Puerto Rico was close last time. Dominican's always good. Cuba's always good. So we'll see which of the Latin American countries comes out hot. Venezuela, I think, is maybe the weakest, but not by much. But I think it's going to be a USA-Japan finale. And they got Clayton, which I think is sick, dude. I think it's awesome. He's like, I retired, but I'm going to play in WBC one more time. That's pretty sick. I like it. Phils are absolutely effing done for. They're the same team. They're still solid. They're just a year older. I think they're going to be okay. I think they're still the favorite to win the NL East, but like if they lose, if like Schwarber or Harper get hurt for any length of time, it's going to be rough. Yeah, they don't have the depth. Yeah, it's a lot of the same guys. Yeah, I understand that's hard to get behind when things didn't work out. But they won the division easy last year, and they just got beat by the eventual World Series champion and the one we think is going to cause a lockout in a tough division series. Like it just comes down to 5-game execution against the best team. If we're basing everything on that, come on. That could have, if the Phillies would have done what they did to, like flipped it, and they had Wheeler and it was the other way, are we still saying this? No, we're not. That's the biggest difference because they did everything, they easily won the East. And they're gonna do it again. Just get to the playoffs and hopefully it works out differently. Not to question, just saying you for holding down the A's when you were there. Dope to see you play for a Representative Reed. Fisher stepping on Legos, also big ups, man. Thank you. Thank you so much, man. That was very nice of you to say. Where's the love for the Czechs? Dude, my man, can't even remember his name. Jakub Slodek. He played for them. I don't know what he's doing now. But yeah, dude, I'll always cheer for the Czech team. Are you kidding? That's awesome. We got another super chat. What's that one say? Is Stearns really that adverse to acquiring starting pitchers? I don't think so. I don't think he's adverse to it. I just think that he's maybe more risk adverse. I think Cease is going to be so much better than Blue Jays. One thing that's really interesting for me, I think the Blue Jays should trade Jose Barrios. I think they could get something for him. And I think Jose could get, because now they have Cody Ponce, they have a lot of depth in the starting staff. I think they should. I think they should at least look at it. It's interesting to me. It's interesting to me. All right. One more question and I'm going to get out of here. Twins over 500 this year? No. But I think they will be better than people expect. I'm feeling 80 and 82. I know it's a hedge right there, but no, I don't think so. Yeah, it's rough. It's rough over there.